My name is Seiji. Before everything changed, I was just a regular high school student. Life wasn't exciting, but it wasn't bad either. Wake up, go to school, come home, repeat. My days blended together, predictable but safe. I spent more time daydreaming about exciting worlds in books and games than actually engaging with the one I lived in. Heroes, adventures, magic, they were fantasies I never thought would touch my reality. But in the blink of an eye, those dreams and my ordinary life collided in a way I never expected. It happened without warning. I was on my way home from the convenience store, my bag full of snacks and manga, when the world around me shifted. It wasn't dramatic, no flashes of light or booming voices. One step, I was walking on pavement. The next, I was standing in a dense forest, the air thick with unfamiliar scents. The sunlight filtering through the canopy above was brighter, almost golden, and the sounds of distant creatures replaced the hum of city life. I froze, my mind scrambling to make sense of it. Was this a dream? Some kind of hallucination? I pinched myself hard enough to leave a mark, but the forest remained stubbornly real. The quiet panic set in. Where was I? How did I get here? Most importantly, how would I get back? I wandered aimlessly, my thoughts a storm of confusion and fear. As I moved, I noticed small details that solidified one terrifying fact. This wasn't Earth. The trees were too tall, their leaves an iridescent green that shimmered in the light. The air smelled faintly sweet, like a mix of honey and pine. In the distance, strange bird-like creatures with 4 wings glided silently through the sky. As I stumbled through the undergrowth, trying not to trip over roots or attract attention from whatever lived in this forest, I found something unusual. A fruit unlike any I'd ever seen. It was round and golden, glowing faintly, as if it had been plucked from a fairy tale. Hunger gnawed at my stomach. I hadn't eaten since leaving home, and despite my better judgment, I picked it up. The surface was smooth and warm, almost comforting to hold. A faint aroma of sweetness wafted from it, making my mouth water. I hesitated for a moment, wondering if it was safe. Then, desperation won out. I took a bite. The taste was indescribable, a mix of every fruit I'd ever loved intensified 100-fold. It was so overwhelming that I barely noticed the strange warmth spreading through my body, like a fire igniting in my veins. I doubled over as my muscles tensed and stretched. My vision blurred, and my heart raced. When it was over, I felt different. I looked down at my hands. They were larger, stronger, and my entire body felt lighter, more powerful. My reflection in a nearby stream confirmed it. I wasn't the same person anymore. My once average frame was now muscular, my features sharper, almost unrecognizable. I wasn't just in another world, I was something new. The days that followed were a blur of discovery and survival. I learned that this place was as dangerous as it was beautiful. Monsters lurked in every shadow, and I quickly realized that my newfound strength wasn't a luxury, it was a necessity. The fruit of evolution had changed me, giving me the tools I needed to survive, but it also raised questions I couldn't ignore. What was this power? Why had I been brought here? It wasn't long before I met Saria, a gorilla who, to my utter shock, transformed into a beautiful girl after consuming her own fruit of evolution. Saria became my first friend in this strange land. Her kindness and unwavering support helped me push forward even when the odds seemed impossible. Together, we braved the perils of the forest, forging a bond that went beyond words. But the forest was only the beginning. After weeks of wandering, we finally reached the edge of civilization. A towering stone gate loomed before us, the walls behind it stretching high enough to touch the clouds. Relief and apprehension warred within me as I approached. Was this the start of a new chapter, or the beginning of a new set of challenges? The gods stationed at the gate were skeptical of us. We didn't have any identification, no proof of who we were or where we'd come from. I thought we were doomed until they brought out the gem of truth. They explained it would reveal whether we were criminals or hiding anything. My heart pounded as I placed my hand on the gem, but to my surprise, my disguise skill, one of the strange abilities I had gained, allowed me to pass unnoticed. Saria followed suit, and just like that, we were in. The town was bustling, alive with sights and sounds that were both alien and strangely familiar. Market stalls lined the streets, their vendors shouting out prices for goods I couldn't even name. Children darted through the crowd, laughing and playing. For the first time in weeks, I felt a sliver of hope. Maybe this world wasn't all danger. Maybe there was a place for us here. Our first stop was the Adventurers Guild. It seemed like the logical choice. Adventurers were the backbone of this world, tackling quests, fighting monsters, and exploring the unknown. If we wanted to make a life here, the guild was our best bet. The guild hall was chaotic. Adventurers of all shapes and sizes filled the space, their conversations a cacophony of voices. At the center of it all was the guild master, a mountain of a man with muscles that looked like they could crush steel. His obsession with strength was both impressive and unsettling, but he welcomed us with surprising warmth. Our proctor for the guild's initiation was Artoria, an A-rank adventurer with a fearsome reputation. Known as Artoria the Calamity, she was as intimidating as her title suggested. Her sharp eyes and cold demeanor made it clear she didn't trust us, but she reluctantly agreed to oversee our initiation. The tasks she assigned us were unexpected. Helping at an orphanage, demolishing a building, and walking a dog weren't exactly the grand quests I'd envisioned. But each task taught me something valuable, not just about this world, but about myself and the people around me. Artoria, despite her gruff exterior, began to reveal glimpses of her true self. She carried a deep loneliness, a belief that her power brought nothing but destruction. She called herself a calamity, but as I spent more time with her, I saw the kindness buried beneath her pain. One moment stood out. During the dog-walking quest, Artoria smiled. It was brief, almost imperceptible, but it was real. For that split second, she wasn't the feared adventurer or the calamity. She was just a person enjoying a small moment of joy. By the end of the day, I realized something important. This world was harsh and unpredictable, but it didn't have to be faced alone. Saria, Artoria, and the others I'd met were more than companions. They were becoming my new family. As I lay under the stars that night, staring at a sky filled with unfamiliar constellations, I felt a sense of purpose I'd never known before. My old life was gone, but maybe that wasn't such a bad thing. This world was full of challenges, mysteries, and dangers, but it was also full of potential. And so, with Saria by my side and a growing sense of determination in my heart, I embraced the adventure ahead.